So there's a bunch of you sitting there right now pouting at your computer screen. And you're pouting because you're so jealous of my particular website right now. Not because it looks fabulous. Oh, I assure you it's not for that. You're pouting because my template installed and yours didn't. And you want to know where that problem happened. Well, there are 3 common ways that this can happen, that you cannot have your template install on the website. And all 3 of them track back to template.details.xml. So in all likelihood, one of your 3 problems is you did something wrong with the syntax inside of your XML file. So you forgot to close a tag, you nested them incorrectly, you left off an angle bracket, whatever it is. The second way is you have a bunch of files that you put in your zip, but you forgot to list all those files in the XML file. And the third way is you listed files in your XML file that aren't part of the zip. So that's all Joomla cares about with the installation step. It wants to make sure that that XML file reflects what you're trying to put into Joomla. And if it doesn't, it will give you problems. It doesn't care about whether your HTML or your CSS is formed correctly or whether it's valid. It doesn't care about your images. It just cares about what files are going into Joomla and are they all accounted for. That's all the installation step is about. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these errors look like. I've created 3 broken templates for you. Hey, 3 broken templates. Yeah, none of them are going to install. Well, one of them will install. 2 of them won't install at all. And I'm going to walk you through the process of working with all 3 of those. So here in the back end of Joomla, if we go to Extensions, Extension Manager, and we hit the Browse button, we're going to go to our exercise files in 402. Go to broken number 1 here. This is one with a syntax problem. I've left off a closing tag. And when I try to upload this file and install it, I'm going to get a message saying it could not find the Joomla XML setup file. Now, this is where a lot of people get really upset because, of course, there was an XML setup file. You put it in the zip. You confirmed it was there. Well, it's just the worst, one of the worst error messages in all of Joomla because it's completely misleading and wrong. The XML file is there. It's just badly formed. There's an error inside of it. One of those tags is missing, and that's why it could not even install broken 1. So if you wanted to fix this template, you would need to go into your XML file, look for tags that are nested incorrectly, look for tags that are misspelled, look for tags that are missing angle brackets or slashes, and look for missing tags altogether. I guarantee you one of the problems is located in those areas. So go ahead and look for that. Now for number 2. So in this case, we have a file included, the index.php file is in the zip, but it's not listed in the XML file. So let's see what happens there. If I go to broken 2 and I say open and I say upload and install, it'll tell me that the template installed just fine. Hey, awesome. So now I'm going to go to Extensions, Template Manager, and I'm going to assign this as my default English template for the website. So if I go to Kinetico 2, which is the name of that particular template, and I click on this, and I'm going to set this as my default for English UK, and I'm going to assign it to my English homepage. You'll see why here in just a moment. And we'll go ahead and say save and close. Now when I come back to the front end of my website and I hit refresh, I get this. Well, it's kind of broken, isn't it? It doesn't look anything like the template that we built. And then down here, here's something that says error. The template for this display is not available. Please contact a site administrator. Don't you love those messages when you are the site administrator? Well, what this means is, as I told you, the index.php was included in the zip, but it was not listed in the XML file. So the template installed and Joomla thinks that it's available, but without the index.php, it's not even going to show up on the front end of your website. So we have a real problem here. That's what's going on in this particular display. All right, back to the back end of Joomla. We're going to need to get rid of this Kinetico 2 template. So I'm going to go back to my Kinetico English template. I'm going to reset this as my default template. And under menu assignment, I'm going to reassign my English homepage here. And then I'm going to say save and close. Now I can uninstall the template that I just installed. If I go to Extensions and I go to Extension Manager, I'm going to come over here on the side to Manage. And from your filter dropdown here, make sure you pick Template. This will give you a subset of what is here because this is going to show you all of the components, the modules, the plugins, the languages, the templates, and more that you have installed in Joomla. You'll never be able to find anything. So by filtering this by template, I can find my Kinetico 2 template, put a check by it, and say uninstall. So bye-bye. Thank goodness. Okay, let's take a look at the last example. So in broken number 3, I have listed in the XML file a file called index.html, but I have not put index.html in the zip. So what's going to happen now? If I go ahead and say upload and install, it's going to give me this error. And it's telling me that the file does not exist, index.html. In other words, it's reading the instructions in the XML. It's looking for index.html, which is called out in the XML, but I can't find it in the zip file. And so it blows up here. So those are the 3 common errors that you're going to run into when trying to install your template. And if you run into any of those errors, now you know how to fix them. And go ahead and fix your template, get it installed, and I'll show you how to reassign those modules and fix those broken images in the next video.